All right. Welcome, everybody. This is Kirk. I am your Dynamic Self Coach. I want to welcome you all to the Dynamic Self Coach's Financial Intelligence, where we believe in faith, family, and finance. I got a good one for you today, folks. But before we get to that, I want you guys to remember to like, to share, to comment on this video, okay? Today we're going to have a series, right? Next couple of days, next couple of videos, I'm going to have a series, and we're going to be talking from a book called How Money Works. I'm going to show you guys how to get a free download of the book, How Money Works, okay? And at the end, I'll put the how you can get it, okay? We'll make sure you get this book called How Money Works. And we're going to be talking about certain concepts and principles about money. See, in order to become wealthy, you got to understand how to win the money game. So let's get right at it, folks, okay? Let's get right to it. Okay, as I said, the first concept and principle we want to talk about is paying yourself first, right? We want to understand, what do you mean by pay yourself first? See, when we get our money, our paycheck, usually, this is what we do, right? This is the average person. We take our money and we go pay our bills, our debts, and our emergencies, right? The car break down, we need a new battery. That's an emergency, right? We didn't know the car is going to break down, but we got to buy a battery. Battery costs $150, right? See, we weren't expecting that. So instead of taking the money, the bills, the debt, and the emergencies is taking the money. But what we want to do is take our money and pay ourselves first. And we want to contribute to our investments and our savings. We say, well, now, Kirk, I already save in the bank. But see, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about how to get free. See, over here, with bills, debt, and emergencies, we're talking about necessities, right? I'm going to put an N there. I'm going to put NEC, right? Standing for necessities, okay? Your necessities need to be about, let's say, anywhere from 55 to 60% of your income. Now you think about your check, you got 100% of your income, 100% of your check, you got to spend that money on your living expenses. That would be your necessities, okay? That's your bills, that's your debt, that's your emergencies. See, some of these things we're going to have to get under control. We'll talk about that later. But in pay yourself first, the first thing we got to do with our money, folks, is we are our first bill. We are the person who needs to get paid first. We got to think of us before we think of the light company, before we think of the gas company, okay? We got to think about us first. Pay you first. That's the number one principle, right? Now, there's another principle in there. A lot of us understand we got the principle, pay God. You know, if you're a faith-based person, you believe in giving God 10%. Well, that's what we're going to do, right? We're going to take our first 10%. And we're going to save that first 10%, right? We're going to give God his 10%, right? We're going to give him his. Let me put God over here since y'all, I know how to think. Well, I go to church and I love the Lord. Okay, we're going to give God his 10%. Now, we still ain't got but 100% of our money. Right now, we done got 10, 20, and 80% of our money is gone, right? We got some other ways to spend our money. So we want to talk about that. But pay you first is the number one principle. See, I know you think, I don't have enough money to pay myself, Kirk. I got to pay the light man, the gas man, the milkman. You got to pay the paper boy. You got to pay everybody. Everybody and everything. You don't have an emergency fund. Here, you got to have an emergency fund. Let's put that here so you can take care of emergencies. We're going to talk about this too, folks. I ain't going to take all day spelling the word emergency. If it ain't right, don't worry about it. You know what I mean. FUND spells fun. I got that part right? We got to have an emergency fund to pay your emergencies, okay? So this is how life works. We got to understand that we got emergency for emergency. Then we also got to have a program to pay debts. We're going to talk about that in a part called debt stacking. So we'll talk to you about your debts and how to handle those. But right now we're talking about paying you first, and we're talking about taking 10%. Why? Because we want to get free. This is what paying yourself first is about. You pay yourself first so you can get free, right? Financial independence or freedom from worried about money. You don't want to be worried about money. You want to be financially free so you don't worry about money, right? So here's the point. Now, to get financially free, you got to take 10% every paycheck, folks. If I get paid $100 a month, that's $10 every single month, right? As I said, many of us think we don't have enough money. We don't have anything to invest, anything to save. We go down to the bank, and here's the problem. You go to the bank, right? I know I ain't got no space. I intended for this to be like this. You go to the bank, and the bank going to give you 0.01%. Guess what? You can't live off of that. We're going to talk about another principle in how money works called the rule of 72. We want you to understand how to make your money double. When you love to learn about how to make money double, see, that's a biblical principle, how to make your money double. Now, we used to taking our money here. So we can't build a legacy because we don't get enough interest rate on the money that we take over here. Now, the whole point is we invest to get free, to build a legacy, to have generational wealth for our children. That's what the invest and pay yourself first is all about, right? You pay you because you're just as important as the light bill, the gas bill, the credit cards, right? The car note, the emergencies. You're just, matter of fact, you're more important, okay? Now, that's a biblical principle too, paying yourself first. Now, as we go down here, here's the reason why we want to pay ourselves first, because we don't want to be stuck in the rat race, right? Rat race, going to work, getting paid, getting stressed out, living paycheck to paycheck, right? That's what we do on a job. We live paycheck to paycheck. At the end of the money, we still got a whole bunch of month left, right? We're trying to make ends meet, and ends don't ever meet. See, once ends meet, it becomes a circle. But the ends are as far as the east is from the west when it comes to our paycheck, right? So now, then you retire. Here's the problem. You have lack of income, and now you're in poverty. Why? Because you didn't pay yourself first. You paid the gas company, and they're filthy rich. You paid the light company, and they're filthy rich. But you and your family, guess what you're passing on? You're not passing on generational wealth, folks. What you're passing on to your family is dead in poverty. You're saying, hey, my kids, they got to struggle like me. They got to work hard like me. But that ain't how wealthy people think. See, wealthy people think like this. Wealthy people work a job to get free. Poor people work a job to pay bills. Now, as we go down life's ladder, let's talk about it. How can you, let's go here first. How can you start to pay yourself first or understand how powerful that is? Let me show you how powerful that is, folks. Look, if you make $25,000 in a year times 40 years, that's $1 million. You can make $1 million in your lifetime, right? But if you don't know what to invest it in or how to properly invest or how to properly pay you first, guess what? That's something we got to learn how to do. Now, $35,000 in 40 years, folks, equals to $1.4 million. You're going to earn $1 million in your lifetime. And you know what's funny? Your boss is earning 5 times your salary off of you. That's the statistics. They know that they should get 5 times what you're worth, right? So if you got 1 million, guess what? He's got 5 million. Now, 45,000 will get you 1.8 million, almost $2 million, folks. Now, at $25 a week, that's just $100. If you just invested $100, folks, for 40 years, at 3%, that's $93,000. At 5%, $152,000. At 9%, that's $472,000 that you can save just by paying you first. See, here's the point, folks, and I'm going to end this up today. See, here's the point. Like I said, from the book called How Money Works. See, the power of paying you first. You got to understand the power of paying you first. You're the most important asset to yourself and to your family, because if you pass away, your income stops, right? Now, it's not what you earn, it's what you keep, folks. See, that's the whole point. It's not what you earn, it's what you're able to keep. And that's why the principle of paying yourself first is the #1 principle, right? You see that there? You're going to text the word money to 872-210-2222. 2519, and you're going to get your free copy. It's going to be on your way, the free copy of How Money Works. Thank you guys for being on today. Thank you for being here with the Dynamic Self Coach, right? I want you guys to remember hashtag Dynamic Self Coach, hashtag dynamic growth equals dynamic result. God bless. Have a good evening.